Hi, in this session we'll be talking about servos. Now, this is a standard servo, a standard 9-gram servo which we use in RC aircrafts. I'll first draw the diagram of the basic structure of this servo and then I'll disassemble this to show you it. Now, the way the servo works is you have a motor with two wires which is connected to a circuit board with integrated circuits, and you also have a potentiometer. Now, the potentiometer is like a variable resistor. It measures when you rotate the potentiometer, it will vary the resistance and thereby change the voltage between these two pins. Now, the motor is attached to the potentiometer through a system of gear wheels. You have one gear wheel over here, another gear wheel like this, and the third gear wheel like that. And the potentiometer is connected to the motor. Therefore, when a signal comes to the motor starts to rotate, and with that the potentiometer will start to rotate. When the potentiometer starts to rotate, the resistance will vary, and thereby the voltage difference between these two pins will vary. An integrated circuit, by looking at the difference of the voltage, will regulate the speed of the motor. The potentiometer is necessary because without that, the motor will continue to rotate and it will not know when to stop. Now, this shaft is extended like that, and this whole thing is fixed into one box like this. And we fix the servo arm to this. This is how the servo operates. Now I'm going to disassemble the servo and show you the interior components of it. First I'll remove the servo arm like that. Now you can see the small threaded axle, which is this. There are four pins. I'm going to remove those four. There you go. This is the closing hatch. So this will be somewhere over here. I've removed this part. Now 3 wires will be coming out of this circuit, and that's the circuit you can see over here, right, with the integrated circuit over there. Right. Now I'm going to remove the gear wheel assembly. Slowly. There we go. You can see, just like I said, we have the gear wheels. This is the servo, this is the axle which will be connected to the servo arm. Okay. And here we have the motor. And if you take a good look, you can see a gold color. You can see a gold color small meter. That is the potentiometer. Can you see that? That's the potentiometer. Let's assemble this back again. Right? Final step. There you go. So that was the interior of the servo. Now let's take a look at the signal the servo will receive, which is the signal that the receiver will send. Now when the stick is at its center position, like so, the signal the servo will receive will be like this. The time interval of this pulse will be 1.5 milliseconds, and the time interval between these two pulses will be about 20 milliseconds. Now when the stick is moved either to the far right or to the far left, the signal you will receive will look like this. Now when it's pushed to the far right, the time interval will still be 20 milliseconds, about 20 milliseconds, but the time interval of this pulse will be 2 milliseconds. So if this was 1.5 milliseconds, this is 2 milliseconds. Now when it's turned to the opposite direction, it can either be left or right. When it's turned to the opposite direction, the pulse will be like this. The interval between two pulses will still be about 20 milliseconds, but the time interval of this pulse will be 1 millisecond. So when it's at its center position, it will be 1.5 milliseconds. When it's at the far left or far right, it will be about 2 milliseconds. And if it's in the opposite direction, it will be 1 millisecond.